Right. How low is the sun in the sky? Does it look like we've got an hour or two before it's sundown?
It looks about 3 hours till sun starts setting. Maybe 3.5.
Well, if you all don't mind, I think I'm gonna go into my room for a moment and check all my gear and do some cleaning. I've still got some blood under this buckle here I need to scrub out.
Okay.
Which one is mine?
I don't have that in my
These
notes.
3 rooms are the ones you bought, so you can
Okay.
choose one of these 3.
I'm just gonna go in this one and I'm just gonna like kind of take some of my outer clothing off, kind of brush it out, check the condition of it, look for tears and stuff, and yeah.
Yeah. Your item, none of it looks damaged. It does look like maybe it could use a little bit of a wipe down and cleaning, but other than that, it looks pretty good. What's everyone else doing? Tammy and Agatha sitting there at the table. You can hear very faint conversation happening further down this way in the tavern.
Crap.
Tammy kind of just dangling her feet back and forth, looking around, waiting for someone to say something.
So I believe that we had said that we wanted to meet up with Lady Ashina and crew, but I don't remember the time and place. Does anybody else remember that?
Your mic's off, Mom?
That we are supposed to meet Tatia at the old school in Shadowdale in 1 day from today.
Okay.
What was the name of the place?
Shadowdale at the old
Oh,
school.
Old School. Okay, that's it.
It's actually meant to be Old Skull Inn.
Old Skull.
Oh, isn't that where we're currently staying?
You guys are staying in the extension of that inn. Like that inn is actually the original one is over here, but it's all kind of conjoined together as a business as time has gone on.
Like this is like an expanded
Right, yeah.
expansion. Whatever.
True.
All right. Well, if no one else is going to do anything, I'm just going to do clean my gear, make sure I don't have any sand in my pockets, trying to all that stuff until it's time to leave and meet the dwarf.
Okay, so when you say time to leave, there's a couple different things that are timed right now. We have you're meant to meet the one guy at sundown. Is that where you're planning on going first when you say leave?
Yep.
Okay. All right. So what's everyone else doing? You guys are gonna have about 3 hours until sundown. Your mic's off still. I'm gonna be telling you.
I'd like to go and I know I'm not used to this. I would like to go into my room and pray to Bahamut while I have some free time. You want me to DM you what I'm praying about?
Yeah, or you can tell me. It depends on what you prefer. Either way.
I'll DM you.
Okay. You guys watch as Bezoit, kind of without saying much, gets up, walks over to the room, and shuts the door. Tammy looks around. A little tense here today, huh?
Yeah, it's just something in the air. Feels off.
So what's the plan? Should we hang out till dinner tonight, or are we hoping that Lady Evelina comes back with good news? I don't know what to be doing here.
Me neither. I'm just sticking around everybody.
So I do.
Is Tammy asking that, or is Agatha?
That was Tammy.
Okay.
I don't think you personally need to be doing anything. I have an itch just to make sure my weapons are in tip-top shape.
I'm I'm gonna poke my head out the door and kind of call out to her. You know, you can always go find another investment to be made here in town.
She looks over at him, like eyeing him up. Well, is anyone hurt? Do we need like medical supplies or anything?
We did want to look into medical supplies and healing potions if they're not charging an arm and a leg.
Okay. And she looks over at Agatha and gives her a look. Agatha gives her a nod. All right, we'll go do that then. And they begin making their way downstairs. And as they head down, a couple minutes pass and you hear some footsteps landing pretty hard on the stone coming into the tavern. And you hear that, I don't know if you guys remember Mancho Charis, the guy behind the counter.
Yeah.
Mom, you cannot be silent, she says, and she walks past him. And you guys watch as Lady Avelina approaches back inside the inn. I gotta pull her up 1 second. As I'm getting her up, I'll kind of describe her. As she approaches, she looks stern and kind of, maybe like worried, slightly.
Like there's definitely tension in her shoulders and face.
Yeah. And she comes up to the top of the stairs, and she looks over at you two. Where are the rest of the members?
Gear maintenance and looking for health supplies, healing supplies.
Very well. I have bad news. I'd like you to gather everyone up if possible.
All right. I would just shout out, "Hey, Emus, Bezoit, Lady Avelina's arrived. She has some news."
Yeah, a second. Just gotta put my buckles back on.
He's naked.
No, never said that.
She doesn't know that though.
You hear Bezoit yell out, 2 seconds! Mancho comes up the stairs. Ma'am, I told you cannot just come badging your way in. And she turns and looks at him. And he kind of looks at the group walking over towards her and her.
I would look at Macho and just say it's okay. She came to talk to us. We were awaiting word from her.
See, I wish someone would just let me know. He says, like pointing, like very.
Our
aggressively at her.
apologies. It won't happen again, hopefully.
Looks you up and down, gives you kind of a nod of courtesy. Yes. Sorry for the misunderstanding. And he heads back down. Oh no, not up there. He jumps on the fucking chandelier.
See, what's the armor? Spakala!
Mancho was a gay man. So as Bezoit comes out of the room, sorry, I keep forgetting I need to control you, Bezoit. Lady Evelina takes a look around. Lord Barnett has not agreed to your proposition. He seemed pretty pointed that he wanted to have the dinner tonight.
Ay, ay, ay.
I just feel like
Well,
it's a trap.
I don't think it's a trap. I just really want to be able to talk to the dwarf.
Well, I think that would be fine as long as the dwarf doesn't talk for a whole ass hour. Like we'll tell him he's got like half an hour, 45 minutes, and then we got a boot scoot boogie.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Okay. Yeah, I'm down for that.
Lady Evelina kind of gazes over the group. Do you have attire fitting of a noble's banquet?
What do you mean? This is the finest attire in all the land. I'm gonna puff up my chest.
She nods slowly. For combat, perhaps?
There is no other type of attire needed.
So
Well,
I
look-
would tap my shoulder and make it into like a party gown.
She smiles nicely and kind of looks around the rest. And she gives like a half-hearted smile and a shrug. And you're welcome to go in anything you please. I just want you to know of the customs expected.
Well, what is the customary formal wear around here?
Something exquisite, something fitting of a noble.
I glance over at Emus. Do you need all of us when you talk to the dwarf?
I suppose not.
Can I go? I would like to go.
Yeah,
sounds good.
I think I might hit up one of the local shops here and get some clothing. Do you want me to pick anything up for either of you?
Maybe a fine feathered hat.
Yes, that'll
What
really
color?
pull the ensemble together.
Yeah, that's what he was thinking right now. He's thinking about some gaudy over feathered hat.
Particular color?
I'm gonna kind of look down at my cloak. No, just something that pops. Something that's vibrant.
All right. Cal?
I feel like this is a good look for me. My sword's still chilling there on my side with an elegant gown.
Okay, is Tammy and Agatha coming with?
They already left. I'm pretty sure.
No, to the dinner.
Oh,
I don't believe so. I thought it was for the chosen, not the
Chosen's friends.
moral savants.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Hey, Boogie, did you want to tag along with me?
Yeah, actually. If I look at the clothing, maybe I can figure out something to switch this to.
Okay, where shall we meet?
Probably outside the palace or whatever building he lives in.
Okay, I'll see you guys there in about 45 minutes then.
I thought it was like 3 hours before.
I thought we only had an hour left.
No, we'll have an hour from meeting the dwarf to when we should be at the dinner.
Oh, okay. All right. We'll meet you then in 3 hours.
I'm sorry, I did miss the location of the meeting. Where were you meeting?
Outside
Outside
wherever.
the palace.
Yeah, outside of where we got invited for dinner. Yeah.
Okay, so I take it you guys. So Boogie and Bezoid are going clothing shopping with Lady Evelina. Okay.
Yes.
All right, I will move you guys over here. We're gonna kind of theater of mind a lot of that, if that's cool. And then
With me.
Emus claims, are you guys hanging out for a little bit before we're heading out, or are you
I
guys
still gotta
gonna?
put my cloak back on and stuff. I'm gonna finish getting dressed, basically.
Okay. So an hour, sundown will be in about 2.5 hours from now. So you're expected at the dwarf's house in 2 hours, just so you know.
Okay.
I said house, I meant guild hall.
I knew what
All
you
right,
meant.
so
So I would spend my time first sharpening my weapons, making sure my gear didn't have any tears or anything like that. Then I would like to find a bathhouse, or if there was bathing quarters within this inn, use that and get kind of cleaned up before the party and the meeting.
So the rooms have like these large basins of water. They're empty currently, but they bring hot water into the rooms upon request for bath and stuff like that.
Okay. Like a basin where I'm dipping a rag in and just like washing my body, or am I in it?
No, it's like, yeah, you're washing your body with a rag kind of deal.
So I'll go find a bathhouse.
Okay. Right across the street are the bathhouse,
Sweet.
and they're like decked to the nines. They've got like separate rooms for steaming and like private areas where you can like kind of separate into groups into different areas where it's all stoned, and there's benches in the water you can sit in and stuff with the personal changing rooms and stuff.
Okay. Yep. Here.
All right, as she's out getting bathed, you guys make off looking for some clothing. What kind of clothing are you guys kind of specifically looking for?
So, Can my hat change what it looks like I'm wearing?
Yeah, I'd imagine so. If it can change you into a human.
Okay, that makes sense then. I want to check out some formal wear. What sort of stuff looks good in orange? In order to just rip it off.
And I
Just field
myself would.
heroing it. Sorry.
You're good. I would like to take Lady Avelina's lead on this, but I would like something appropriate for the occasion, elegant and classy, yet fierce. I want to be able to still be able to have my weapons underneath my outfit.
Okay, so as you guys go kind of searching around town, you guys find a shop. There isn't really any, this being kind of an adventuring town, there actually isn't really any stores set up for like fine clothing and stuff, but you do find um, inside a shop over on the northeastern side of town, kind of broken apart with the river. There's this shop owned by this guy, Volkus Zvegakin, and it's called Volkus's Delver's Exchange. And then there, you guys, it isn't like super grand outfits, but they are, I guess, like a modern way of saying would be like kind of upper middle class type attire. It's not like super noble and grandstanding and stuff, but it's better than a commoner would generally have. But there's kind of like these plain browns and dark grays and stuff. As far as like anything kind of nice, there's intricate silver headpiece that comes down over the eyebrows with black and pink gems. There's a silver headpiece that rests on the forehead. Um, there's a kind of like a gown that goes over with a hood that has this like really vivid red and gold trim along it. But other than that, there isn't really anything like super fancy. As you guys looking around this shop, Valkus goes,
That headpiece that you described. What can you describe that second piece again? With the purples and pinks.
yeah, it's kind of like it's got like these little tiny silver links with these gemstones that kind of rest over the forehead, kind of deal.
Okay, I would like that, and then that cloak, the red and silver cloak, and then I will definitely take that hat for Emus. How much would that be?
So as you walk up to the counter, you see this little gnome behind the counter with like a kind of like a zoomed in spectacle thing in his one eye, like a what do you call those things that you assess like stones and things with?
Yeah.
Like a peep glass or whatever they're called.
I actually know that. Fuck.
Those little
And-
jewelry monocle spectacle things.
Yeah. And as you walk up to the counter with your items, he's
Jeweler
sitting there,
lens.
and he kind of like types with his little three fingers, counting what you have in your hand. Is that everything for you?
Well, that would be.
Can I interest you in any one of my assortments of adventuring gear or potions brought from the depths of the Underdark?
What kind of potions do you have?
All sorts, he says with a gleam in his eye.
I may have a need to visit you at a later time, but I think for tonight that's all I'll need.
Very well. Don't get yourself killed before you come back. And he looks and that'll be 22 gold for everything, please.
And I hand him the 22 gold.
And as it drops into his hand, he kind of lets out a sigh of like, thank you for your business. He puts his coins into his pouch.
Thank you.
I just follow the group out.
You didn't find anything, Boogie?
No.
Lady Emelina is kind of like ushering you guys outside, walking. Is there anything else you would like to see before we head back to the inn?
Is there anything that you could tell us that would behoove us before our meeting tonight?
She takes a deep sigh. Other than that, I don't trust Lord Barnett. Not really. He appears to be a secularist. He's kind of against the temples in town. She kind of like pierces her lips together. You'll be meeting him down that way, and she points further east past, and just past the shop, there's this kind of little cave archway where a group of Barnett's personal guard in their very ornate armor are stationed. And just past that is where the the guardhouse station is and the manor. And to the right, you can actually see where you three would be standing. The old abandoned church that used to be the Church of Monitor on the eastern side of town, and then this massive stone sword with like these odd, like blue flames coming off the hilt that is driven into the ground over here. That kind of stands as a landmark.
What's the story with that sword? Does that belong to anybody?
And she nods. According to legend, the sword was wielded by Helm long ago.
By Helm?
Yes, I'm sure you're familiar. Helm?
Yeah, I perk up at the mention of Helm.
I look quizzically at her.
The unwavering god, the only one Ao trusted, not to banish from the heavens.
If anybody can get that stone, or that sword, can they have it?
And she lets out this genuine, like, loud laugh you haven't ever heard from Lady Evelina before. And she goes, if you can wield it, I'm sure. Looking up at it, it's like 50, 60 feet tall in the air. Actually, let me do
I look over at Boogie expectantly.
No, I think my weapons are good. Thanks, though.
You are realizing it's like as tall as a
Massive.
Yeah, I get it.
I was like, you had me convinced.
And as you guys make your way back then towards the end, she kind of points out things around town. A lot of it's kind of agriculture. There's a lot of wine and grape production in this town, a lot of honey, pig, things like that, poultry. And they have these cool little. There's a mages guild here, and it used to be the home of Elminster. And you can see from all the wizards that have come, a lot of wizards will make these kind of statue landmarks around the little town that still stand and act as like this kind of unique landmark for Shadowdale. And she points you to like to the northern side of town. There's like the kind of wizarding school area where they kind of separate themselves and their experiments away from the rest of the town. And that's across the river on the same side of town that the Lord Barnett's mansion is on. And then on the opposite side, north past so like the Skull Inn where you guys are saying, just north of that is the fighting arena, and then just north of that is a library in the Dwarven district where the Children of Morden have their guild hall. All right, and if there's nothing else you guys want, she's going to make her way back to the Old Skull Inn.
I would like to take my purchases back to the Old Skull Inn and then present Emus with the hat. And then I would like to gather up my toiletries and head over to the bathhouse and get bathed and cleaned up. And while I have Emus's attention, I want to ask, do you mind if I go with you now to speak with the dwarf?
I'm not gonna kind of give Bezoid a surprise look. Sure, I'm not your boss. You can do whatever you want.
I'm
More
gonna
the
turn into
merrier.
the bathhouse.
Emus, are you heading to the bathhouse? Boogie, are you?
Sure.
I'm not.
stinky boy.
I'm all natural, thank you very much.
As you guys head to the bathhouse, it is very, very nice. The owner of it kind of asks you where you're staying. The general vibe is that they're working in partnership with the Old Skull Inn. Kind
Yeah.
of like sharing customers and stuff.
Yeah, we got some like tokens from the Skull Inn right across the street.
Ooh, would you like to utilize those tokens now? And she puts out her hand.
Yes, please.
Very well. And she takes some. Any specific fragrance you're after today? We have all the mainstream ones. She says, like, checking her counter.
What is your most prestigious oils that you have?
That is
I wouldn't mind smelling a few of them to. I'm not familiar.
perhaps the essence of the giant's rose coming out of the northern mountain, known as the Bane's Tear. And she holds out this kind of blue, almost like a deep blue sky bottle, and pops the cork off for you to smell. And almost like
And
instantaneously.
too quickly, I say, I'll take it.
I don't smell that one. Kind of keep away from
So
it.
you take it as you grab it, like just the quick pop of it. It smells like super fresh linen and all these like very pleasant, warm, calming smells. Like like hints of vanilla and all this stuff. It's pretty nice. Calamacy. Are you after any certain smells?
Is there like a jasmine-y smell?
Jasmine. Oh, you mean one that smells of jasmine?
Yes.
Yes, ma'am, we do. Pure jasmine, or would you like to mix with some lemon mint?
Pure jasmine.
Here you go. And she hands it across the counter.
Thank you.
And you, sir? You're going to need to go to the next building.
What was that? Next something?
Yeah, they're separated by genders.
Oh.
And as you head over to the next one, a more burly guy. Ah, good evening.
Hey there.
Are you a customer of the inn, or are you someone here without a token?
Yes. Customer of the inn. I hand him the token.
Fantastic. And what smell would you like, good sir?
Good old diesel fuel.
I'm not too familiar with different smells. I remember I liked that wood one in the smaller town. Can I smell a few different ones?
You sure can. If it is wood, I've had maple wood here. I've got the elven wood, and over here I have the most exquisite mahogany zest.
Okay. Do I?
He's like, he's
when
very
I smell
like,
the
his
mahogany,
chest hair's like popping out of his like tunic, and he's holding it open for you to smell.
I like this guy. So I
Like his
What-
chest, for him to smell his chest?
No. He's holding out the bottle.
Oh, okay.
So there is a one that smells like a mahogany chest.
No. It just smells like a no. He was saying zest in a weird way.
Oh, zest. Okay. Yeah, do I like that smell? Does it smell good?
I don't know, man. It's like
Probably.
a citrusy, woody smell. Trust me, if you don't like it, you get in the water, you put it in, you'll like it.
Okay. I think this seems like a good bet.
He hands you the bottle and pats you on the shoulder a little harder than probably most people would. Atta boy.
Okay, so I go off and get prepared and stuff.
All right. Emus, are you doing anything while they're getting bathed?
How much time do I have left before we leave? Like an hour?
Yeah, there's about an hour until sundown.
I'm gonna go for a nice walk around the local inn, observe the local wildlife, trees, see if I see any kind of unusual plant or animal that's I'm not used to. But I'm gonna stay in the local area around the inn
Okay.
and bathhouse.
Oh, okay, so you're like looking around the trees of the bathhouse kind of deal.
Yeah, I'm just kind of chill. Go take on a little walk, little stroll.
Okay. Are you trying to? What are you just look like? I need something specific that like.
Okay, I'm so
Are you rolling
as
an
Eva's,
investigation? Are you rolling perception? Are you?
I probably be rolling nature because I'm walking around taking a look at the if any local squirrels or small rodents if I can see or
Okay, so you're
birds or
focusing on the wildlife.
yeah, like just trying to see what's here, what's
Okay,
around.
for sure. Go ahead, roll a nature.
Sorry, I was not ready. There we go. It's the right one, right? Yeah. Oh, my nature
First roll
skills
of
are
the game.
atrocious. 17.
Nice. So as you're looking around, you see some animals that you would expect to see in this area, small rodents leaping from tree to tree, critters crawling around rocks and stuff. You do notice, however, um, on the side of the bathhouse, there's a lantern kind of hanging. That at the base of the lantern, there's this tiny little, like, um, obsidian colored shard, like a very small fragment that's spinning kind of on a balanced axis. And it seems to be the
Moat,
source.
like the moat I found back earlier, the dirt one.
It would be spinning kind of like that, yeah, but it doesn't look like that moat. But it is this obsidian shard that's kind of spinning similar to that moat was. And it's at the bottom of this lantern, and this lantern's just letting off this kind of nice glow.
Does it look like it's interacting with the lantern in any way?
Make an investigation check.
1 plus 4, 5.
It's part of the lantern. The light is glowing atop. There doesn't seem to be any rhyme or reason that you can see, but I mean, you also know that magic exists, so it's possible that that could be the source of the magic of the light, like
Just out of,
powering the light.
just out of curiosity, I'm gonna poke it with my boot.
So maybe I'm not describing it correctly. It's like this lantern, right? And at the bottom of the lantern, there's like this like thick glass kind of bottom of the lantern where this shard is spinning at the bottom inside the lantern, and then above it,
Oh,
the light is kind of.
oh, okay. Yeah, I thought you was like in the ground, on like right above the ground or something, like ground
Oh no no
level.
no no! Sorry, that was my
Okay.
fault.
Um, do I look around? Do I see any other similar lanterns?
Looking around, you can see lanterns hanging up. You'd have to get a little closer, but they look in similar design. Like it doesn't. This doesn't appear to be out of place for this area. The other lanterns do have. You can't see the shard from this distance, but they do appear to have kind of that glass bottom,
Oh, I'll walk over to the next nearest one and see if it has the same thing going on.
and it does.
Okay.
There's this kind of and roll. I think your character's smart. Emus is pretty smart, right? What's your intelligence?
Plus 0, 11.
Okay, never mind.
He's fine.
Oh wow, that thing spins.
Yeah.
Whoa, man. Emus walks in with a lantern in the bathhouse. Guys, look what I found.
Yeah, that was about what was about to happen too.
So what are you doing with this info?
Nothing. I'm just noting it for now, but not really interesting at the moment.
All right. You guys get down in the bathhouse, and there's like individual changing rooms and stuff, a steam house in there, and then there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different personal rooms that you can kind of have a separate bath from each other if you want to like have a unique scent or something.
Oh dang, I thought those were beds. That is a bed.
No, that is bad, Kayla. I'm talking about like over here. Like that's
Okay,
one,
so I was in the
that's
right
two,
spot.
that's three, that's 4, and that's 5.
Oh shit.
So as they're bathing, Emish, you're kind of getting hints of good smells coming out from around the town. Still no sign of Tammy or Agatha, and darkness is approaching. We're about 30 minutes till dark now.
I'm gonna head back towards the bathhouse. Kind of call, hey, you guys ready yet?
Yes.
Getting there.
This very relaxed Calamithy comes walking out. Yes.
I'm so ready.
Bazooy, are you ready?
Um,
All right. Boogie, are you ready?
Probably.
All right. So as a group, are you guys making your way over to Half Pints, or what's going on there?
I'm down.
Yeah.
thank you. I'm down.
Okay. So as the group begins making their way that way, as you're heading north, you can either take the left side of the Old Skull Inn or the right side. The right side being the side that you guys had fought the Baphomet or the Baphators.
How about left?
What? Yeah, I'm not entirely sure why it matters. Same road we did before first time.
Are you on Facebook, Bum? Not answering my questions and on Facebook?
I said I am ready. I'm following them to the dwarf.
And I asked a question, which way do you want to go?
How about left?
I have no idea because I don't know where.
Okay, so you guys make your way left, going around the Old Skull Inn and towards the arena. You can see as you pass around, cutting back in front of the arena, looking to the right, or sorry, cutting back behind the arena, looking to the right. You can still see as you sneak past through these trees over in this area. There's those Centurions that are still keeping guard of that arena place that you were checking out, Emus.
Mm-hmm.
And then further down, there's still two more that are guarding the now cleared out area where the Baphatar were and that incident where a bunch of people had died. Are you guys still continuing on?
Well, I might rubberneck the cleanup crew at the arena. You know, see if I can see some faces or some clothing.
So it actually, the roll a perception check as you peek back real quick.
Eh. God, I'm rolling like shit. 10.
As you peep back, they seem to be like the kind of general build and everything of the ones before, but it's kind of hard to make positive.
Okie dokie.
So to your left, if you head further north, you would make it to the guild hall, but where you go is completely up to you.
I'm gonna keep.
So I didn't make this clear. Sorry, Lady Avelina is no longer with you guys. She didn't attend inside the bathhouse with you guys. She would have returned back to the Temple of Saloon.
Oh, can you describe that hat that Bezoit got for me, please?
Are you talking about the gemstone one, Mom? Is that the one you got for Emus? So it's like the silver kind of chained tiara thing. it's kind of effeminate actually. It has like these two chains that come down, and there's like pink and purple gemstones that kind of line those little almost like teardrop stones. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Like it's like a waterfall over your forehead. There's like 8 dangle beads that come down over. Your
Oh,
forehead.
I know exactly what you're talking about. Okay.
If a male wears it, he's probably an elf.
Well, I'm not wearing it yet. I'm just kind of examining it, but I'm gonna put it in my pocket for later, and I'm not gonna wear it at the at the guild hall.
That's a good idea. All right, so you guys making your way further north?
Yep.
When it seems like I'm not not like in view of anybody. I want to switch my attire to some kind of orange semi-formal wear, like about the quality of the place that we were just at, and look at my companions to see if I seem to be about right.
So you guys watch as Boogie kind of puts on this proper attire similar to what was bought, sneaking back into the woodline slightly out of the Centurion view.
I would do that hand gesture with my thumb and fingers pinched together, saying very nice.
You guys can hear what sounds like a party going on. Ah! It sounds like loud dwarven voices in the distance, mugs slamming, laughter. And as you guys approach, immediately to your left, there's a library. And you can hear further to the north bunches and bunches of noise coming out of this building right here. And as you come closer, you can see this building has a sign on it that says the Children of Morden Guildhall.
Building is that?
The second one on the left, the kind of smaller one.
Okay.
But where all the revelry is coming from.
Rabble.
So actually, it's not. All the rabble's coming
Oh.
from this building right here.
Yeah, that's the
And-
guild hall, I'm assuming.
And then this is the building that says Children of Morden Guildhall.
Oh.
And it's very quiet inside.
That's the one he told us to go to, right?
Yeah, he wanted you guys to meet there at sundown. And sundown's now about probably 15, 20 minutes away.
I'm gonna go ahead and walk up to it and kind of poke my head in through a window, or my eyeballs through a window if there's one. Is there one? I don't see any.
So there's actually, yeah, it's kind of like double doors. I'll move these so you can see a little better.
All right, Amos is just gonna kind of sit over here and lean up against this pillar, kind of look over at all the noise. Man, it sounds like somebody's having fun tonight.
I'm gonna
I
open the
know.
door.
As you reach out and open it, they kind of open up, not locked.
Okay. I knock on it, and then just kind of sit down somewhere.
And it kind of echoes out into the guild hall. There's immediate stairs going up, like it's kind of like this real small foyer area, and then these stone stairs going up, breaking off into a Y into the upstairs area above you. And as you guys sit, about 5 minutes passes and it gets a little darker outside and you don't hear anything new.
Maybe he's having fun next door first before he comes meets with us.
I just hope he
Something
doesn't keep
happened
us
to him and he
waiting
can't
here.
meet with us.
Well, I just hope that he doesn't keep us waiting too long. We got that fancy schmancy dinner after all we're supposed to be going to.
Yeah, I wonder how long that's going to take for us to walk to from here. We probably should have thought about that.
Probably.
Let's wing it.
Well, I don't know about all y'all, but I can haste over there, so I'll be fine.
Yeah, and be exhausted once it's over. Looking sweaty and miserable.
So another 2 minutes passes and nothing happens.
I still see sunlight. I think we're still good.
So you guys just gonna keep waiting until sundown.
Mhm.
And as you sit and wait, another 15 passes and sundown arrives and you hear no new noise. You hear in that time, it seems like maybe a fight has broken out over in the Dwarven, but it's been settled. Some people maybe lost to arm wrestling bet or something.
Well,
Why don't we just go into the building here and see if he's already inside waiting
Yeah,
for us?
At this point, now that the sun is set, Emus is definitely headed in.
Oh, I was thinking on going next door and seeing if they knew where something half pint is.
As you guys come upstairs, you see these halls set up, and you see sitting at the table with some parchment in front of him, a leather hand, a feather in his hand, parchment in front of him, and him kind of half lazily holding on to a thing of mead sitting next to him, looking down, sitting kind of slouched, looking at the parchment.
Good evening, sir. I hope we aren't intruding.
And he doesn't move at all.
Does he look alive or does he look suicided? Like ganked?
Jeffrey
I mean,
Epstein.
from just coming
Yes.
upstairs, he just has a feather in his hand that he's loosely holding on to, and he's kind of loosely holding on to the handle of his mug. That's kind of like this stone/wood carved mug.
I guess we'll go ahead and
I feel like he's poisoned.
Can I tell if he's breathing from here?
Make a perception check.
3 + 7, 10 again.
It doesn't. You don't see any rising and falling off a chest.
I go up and put my fingers to his neck, his throat.
Make an investigation check.
Oh. 7.
No pulse.
Oh, man.
We're all rolling Sun Teds tonight. Let's go.
As you sit there and your fingers touch against him, his kind of scraggly red beard, his skin feels cool, not cold, and you don't feel any pulse on his neck.
Can I smell his beverage to see if it has any off scent than what it should be?
Sure. Make another investigation.
17.
The beverage smells like dwarven mead.
Emus is gonna slam both his hands on the table. Oi! Map the door!
And your words kind of echo throughout. Your slam shakes the chalices on the table, and the concussion of your slam, like his hand droops slightly out of the loose grip he had on the mug, and his arm dangles down to his side, and his body leans forward slightly more. His right palm opening, and the feather kind of just rolling an inch out of his right hand.
Yeah, look first, see if he was. Oop, I'm standing on him. Can you see if Calamithy? Do you see if he was writing something? Writing on something?
That's what I was just looking to see if the parchment had any writing.
Yeah.
So the parchment. Go ahead and roll an investigation.
At advantage because I'm helping.
Can I?
Yeah, he's helping.
Dang, I rolled 8 both times. 8, 9, 10, so 10 total.
Captain, my captain.
I know. I'm
So,
shooketh that I have a dead person next to me.
so it appears that the parchment, the pen hasn't even actually hit the parchment yet. There's no words on the parchment. The only thing of note, even on the parchment at all, is like a very, very small drop of blood.
Of blood?
Blood.
Yeah, like a small red drop that appears to be blood.
I'm gonna kind of set the dwarf up in his chair so I could see his face.
And as you kind of lean him back, his eyes still half open. What are you looking for in his face?
Trying to maybe see where the blood might have come from. Is it like, does he have a bloody nose? Does he have some blood drops on his lips, his ears?
All right, so as you search his body for blood, roll another investigation check for him.
Don't
And it's gonna
fail
be a
me
10.
now. Come on, don't desert me. Yeet! 20. Singing to my dice works. 24.
Do you want to know? Oh, nice. Do you want to know DC to have found this?
20.
It was a hard DC. So as you're searching his body, his mouth doesn't appear to be dripping any blood. Like there's no hemorrhaging coming from any orifices on his face or nothing. As you come down, there's no like stab wounds, puncture wounds, nothing. Doesn't seem like he was stabbed by any martial weapon or anything. Until you get down to his hands, and as you're searching his hands, you find in his thumb, like on the side of his thumb, there's a very slight puncture wound, and it's like some very, very light scabbing that started on it, that dripped down onto the paper.
Clemency, don't touch that feather. I'm gonna look
I
around
was
for like.
just thinking the same thing.
I'm gonna look around the table for like some utensils where I can kind of like chopstick it up onto the table so that we can investigate the feather.
So there's 2 candles that are currently kind of melted down. There's 2 chalices you can use. There's
no silverware of any
I
kind.
have 2 daggers.
Oh yeah. That's a good call. That's good. I forgot about silverware. Yeah, there's silverware.
Okay. Yeah, just gonna use
Dwarves
silverware.
eat with their hands. No. So you pick up this feather. What are you doing with it?
Oh, I'm just gonna set it on the table and try to get close to some candlelight and try to determine to see if I can maybe tell what type of feather it is. Do I see any barbs on it? Hasn't been modified.
So as you run the candlelight across, looking specifically for certain things, you do see on the side of the feather, it looks like a very, very, very small, you wouldn't see it unless you're looking for it, barb that's the same color as the handle of the quill, sticking out from where it's gripped.
Does it? It doesn't look natural. It doesn't look like it might have been part of the animal this feather came from.
It does not look natural. It looks very sharp, and it does look like it has like a little bit of blood maybe on it.
Just out of curiosity, can I try to determine the bird the feather came from?
Yeah, make a nature check.
Oh God. 14.
It is the feather of a northern griffin, commonly found in like they're highly sought after as writing utensils for dwarven societies like the mountain dwarves.
And the question I should have asked already, but is this the same dwarf I met earlier?
Yes, this is the dwarf you met earlier.
God damn it.
Looks like somebody didn't want us to find the information that he had.
Yeah, obviously. I'm gonna pull out one of my sheets that I have, the cloth sheets that I picked up earlier, and I'm gonna carefully wrap the feather in the sheet and then tuck it away as evidence.
Okay. And without much problem, you're able to wrap it enough times that you're pretty confident it's not going to poke you through.
Perhaps
The
we should
dwarf sits
report
there.
this to the locals.
Yeah, though the local government's the one that was like over in charge of him, if I remember correctly. Like he ran the arena thing, but they still had jurisdiction over him.
Look around at
Wasn't
this.
the information that he was going to tell you something to do with that?
Yeah, something like that. I'm gonna kind of look around the guild hall. Does it look like it's only recently been emptied, or does it look like it's typically this empty?
So as far as it does look like a kind of smaller guild hall than he was making it sound. It does pale in comparison to that other guild hall that is further north. But it looks like how it normally is, minus there's no people here. But everything's set up like it would be. It doesn't look like it's been ransacked. It looks like he came up, picked up his quill, went to go start writing a note, and it got him.
He was assassinated.
And I pat down his pockets, maybe looking for some notes or pieces of paper.
Sure, make an investigation check.
10.
There are no notes or anything on him, but you do find a coin with 200 gold inside. Or not a coin, a pouch, a coin pouch with 200 gold inside.
Well, that's something at least. I kind of grin at Clemency.
Ooh, you're taking it?
Yeah, I'm gonna take it.
You remind me of a meme I saw today where like it's like RPGs be like, and there's this guy foraging for mushrooms, and he looks up and sees a bush, and there's a guy wearing some clothes behind it, and he's dead, and he looks over, and then it shows him wearing those clothes, continuing to forage.
Yeah, exactly. That's a cutthroat world out there.
All right, so you take his dark leather brown pouch full of 200 gold coin.
Oh, I'm not taking the pouch. I'm just emptying the gold coins into
Oh,
my.
okay, you don't want
Leaving
any
that behind.
identifying.
Yeah,
Okay.
exactly.
So you guys watch as Emus takes the time to untie this pouch, dump it into his own. All right, and you guys are sitting there, the dwarf's eyes still kind of half open, mouth agape. What are you doing?
Bezoit Boogie, do you think? I think we should like at least go tell somebody, right? Or should we maybe?
Well,
maybe
I
we
was
should...
thinking about that before you decided to take his 200 gold.
What if we don't tell a common city guard and we only tell Lady Evelina when we meet her for dinner?
And you trust her more than the regular rabble.
Yep, exactly.
But you're still going to take the gold?
Well, he doesn't need it anymore.
Maybe it's tainted and it's a test.
Well, there's only one way to find out. I will let you know if gold is tainted or not.
Will
Boogie, as you come
do. You do you,
downstairs,
Emus. You do you.
Boogie, as you come downstairs, you can see quite a way in the distance, about what's that? What's 76 tiles? So about 380 feet away, to the south, it looks like 4 of the guard. I'm going to call them centurions because that's kind of how they look. But you see 4 centurions making their way northward.
Okay. I'd say into the hood. Some guards are coming from far to the south.
Maybe we should get out of this building. They were probably tipped off that something has happened here, maybe a fight, and then they'll find that guy dead.
I agree. All right,
just
Emus
begin.
is going to turn to leave.
So as you guys come down, are you trying to be stealthy? Or are you kind of trying to leave nonchalantly? What are you doing?
I'm going to try to be both. Well, I'm just going to be stealthy.
I'd like to be stealthy.
I also lean towards stealthy. I was gonna do like a skeet and then go between the building and these trees to kind of
Okay.
get out of
So
view.
as of where they are currently, like if you were immediately to exit the building and kind of button hook to the left, you would be lightly obscured from the vision and get advantage on your roll. But I need everyone to roll a stealth check.
What happens if I'm already at advantage?
Oh,
You
nat
can't.
20,
Unfortunately,
baby.
you can't get double advantage.
Gotcha.
Unless we're down to homebrew, you know what I'm saying?
27.
Nice.
35.
Oh, god
Nice.
damn.
Yeah, 20 plus 15.
18.
I keep forgetting you're like twice our level.
What's that, Boogie? How much?
18, 1-8.
Okay.
I got 13.
Okay. Are you guys leaving the door open or shutting it behind you?
Well, they shut it behind us, of course.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm just asking because if I don't ask, I assume it's
Fall in with the group.
All right, so you guys come out, button hook around the corner. Their pacing doesn't seem to change at all when you guys leave. So there's that.
I say we sneak over to this like path up in between these buildings up this hill and just go that way, and then we can be nonchalant.
Yeah. I agree.
We can make it
As
look
you-
like we're coming from that big party back there.
As you guys come up this area, this looks like, as you're approaching, this is kind of like the dwarven residential area that the town has built up. The Delvers to the south, the guild that's being pretty loud, having a pretty big market business here with Underdark going on, making raids down there and stuff. And you
Do
guys
these
come
streets up here look pretty busy or pretty
No,
unoccupied?
yeah, there's like no one out right now.
Okay.
Do
I
we
guess
have
from here, now that we booked out ground, we head off towards dinner.
Sounds good to me.
Yeah.
Let's do this, team.
All right.
Yeah, we're gonna eat so much stuff and get
I'm
pricked
gonna
by so many things.
I'm gonna eat their finest foods.
Give me 1 second, guys. I'm gonna brighten things up just so I can see a little better. But it's nighttime.
Time.
Nighttime. Okay. And we're going to switch back to Theater of the Mind a little bit here. As you guys begin making your way further southeast towards where his manor is, you guys pass that little shop that they had passed earlier, and you see waiting by where the Centurions are set up into the private area of Lord Barnett. Lady Avelina is sitting there waiting for you guys to approach.
At this point, I'm gonna kind of pull out the tiara that I was gifted, kind of looking around. Thanks again for picking this up for me, Bezoit. And I'm going to just toss it on my head.
Looks so good on you.
So I think while I was still out of sight, I would change my armor to look like the gown again and have my hair changed to look more elegant looking than just a ponytail that I usually wear it in.
As you guys approach,
Do I look like I'm about the same level of formalness as the girls?
yeah, generally speaking.
Cool.
As you approach, you guys see Lady Avelina dressed in a very nice, kind of like silver trimmed purple gown, and she gives you a very nice curtsy and looks over to the guard and says, "My party has arrived. We'll be proceeding now." And they kind of separate, allowing you guys to pass.
1 second, Lady Avelina, if I may have a word before we head in.
And she turns surprised. Yes, absolutely. What is
I'm gonna kind of bob my head like away from the guards a little bit.
She follows your lead and kind of moves away with you.
Oh, what was that dwarf's name? I'm so sorry, I forgot.
Galax half pint.
Thank you. After we arrived in town and to that unfortunate attack today, I decided to go poking around down where the beasts are kept, and while investigating, it looked like it was very much intentional and not an accident. And while I ran into a master dwarf down there, Galog's half pint, he asked me to meet him at sundown to tell me apparently he had some big, deep secret information about what happened. Well, I swung by his guild hall only to find him deceased, poisoned by a trick quill.
And her face goes a little pale, and she swallows and looks back towards the manor. I don't know about this.
Yeah, that's why we wanted to change the time, my lady.
I'm
Are
still with
any
the
of you-
guards.
Are any of you skilled in deceit?
Yeah, I mean, I have pretty decent deceit.
You hear one of the Centurions. Lord Barnett is waiting.
I'm gonna kind of give her a wink and pull a coin out of my pocket, and then I'm gonna try to slide a hand it back into my pocket without her seeing it disappear.
Roll a sleight of hand check.
Oh, I got 19. No way. I'll take it.
She looks at you and her eyebrows raised. She reaches down and tightens something underneath her gown. Remind me to keep my coin purse away from you, young man. She looks back. So, what are we going to tell them? Do we go to the dinner and not eat, or do we make an excuse and leave? I will warn you, my temple is in kind of political strain with the Lord.
What are the odds that they would poison us our first night here?
He turns and looks at you. That's a good question, but if you would have asked me the same for Galax Half Pint, my answer would have been similar to what you're expecting now.
Emus just
Ah.
nods and steels himself.
So at
That's not
that,
promising.
I would out loud just turn and start walking towards the guards. Man, I shouldn't have eaten all those pastries before coming here. I'm so full.
They
I
kind
might have to throw up first.
of give you an odd look. Roll a deception check.
$22. Let me calculate that. 13 plus 9.
22. The
Yes.
leader runs up to you. My lady, any guests of Lord Barnett, you're welcome to the amenities inside. Do you need assistance? We can clean you up. Surely we can help.
Oh no, I am just a glutton for punishment, but I probably won't be eating a whole lot.
I see. That's fine. Just, are you well? Are you
Oh
sick? Are you
yes.
contagious? Is there
No,
something?
no. I just like to eat and I ate too much. I was just complaining out loud that I was over full.
I'm gonna kind of walk up. Oh, don't mind my good old captain here. You've got some good bakeries here in town. A little eager to be back on land is all. And I'm gonna completely gloss over the fact that we're very much landlocked here.
And they look over at you, and one of the centurions in the back goes, I think it checks out, boss. I've heard of something like that. People eat and eat until they throw up because they love food so much. And he kind of gets this disgusted look on his face and looks you up and down.
Yeah, he gets it, but I work out. Look at my muscles. And I flex because I'm wearing a sleeveless gown.
And the leader goes, "Yeah, right. Well, head on in then if you're fine." And he kind of like flustered walks over and stands his post again. Lord Barnett is expecting you. Lady Avaluni, I'm sure you'll keep you the guest. Inside customs, yes. She gives a nod and walks forward, kind of expecting you guys to follow. And as you guys pass, you guys see on the left here what appears to be like a training camp of soldiers and things like that. Currently a watch going on, but most of them down at downtime. And as you guys approach the manor, Lord Barnett steps out. Well, good evening, my esteemed guests. And he says, like, he kind of like has this this like very smooth crystal ball atop of this. It's like a cane, but like oversized cane. It's not really a staff. It's like kind of this weird, pretentious in between thing. And he smiles at you. I hope you have an appetite this evening. I trust you haven't eaten before you came.
I'm gonna whisper.
Oh,
I'm gonna whisper over to Avelina real quick. Are there any customs that we should know about before going in?
we definitely ate. I
And
couldn't help myself.
she shrugs and whispers, same as everywhere. Try not to upset the sensible nobility if you can.
Right, of course.
And he greets you openly. Oh, you all look fantastic on short notice. Thank you so much for coming.
This is the Lord himself, yet, right?
Yeah, this is the Lord Barnett came out. Hold on,
Okay.
let me get him on the.
Yeah.
I'm trying to find the token I had for him currently.
Yes, the town has a lovely bathhouse.
Do you guys remember the token I used for him?
No.
No.
Oh, I can find it over here. There we go. I'm coming.
I'm ready. I'm ready.
There we go. And he kind of waves out his arms. What were you gonna say?
Oh, I was just gonna say, I was gonna approach and give him a deep bow. Ah, Lord Barnett, so gracious to invite you to your home, especially on our first night here. I know we sent Lady with word of Lady Avelina. We wanted to try to follow your customs and find you a proper gift, but unfortunately you insisted, and well, here we are. I do have this to offer to you though, and I'm gonna reach into my pocket and pull out a dragon claw.
And he reaches out and he like kind of puts his hands to his chest and he raises his eyebrows and looks down. Lovely. Your presence is gift enough. Please come in. No sense in. And he looks at you, looks down at the claw, and looks back at you. Odd gifts of cultural, whatever that is. And he turns around and kind of not wanting to touch the claw, disgusted by it, walks back into the estate.
I kind of mutter myself, but that was one of my best dragon claws.
You see one of the centurions is kind of eyeing it out of the corner of his eye, like he's checking out that claw pretty intently. And as you guys go in, you enter this kind of barracksy kind of estate deal, and as you walk in to like the main castle portion of this room, you go down and there's this grand banquet hall set up with this nice ornate decorated table, and it's set up for 12. There's 12 seats. One head, the other end of the table, it's like a long rectangular table. The other head of the table there's no chair seated there. And then
Dang, that's a power play.
yeah. So he walks over and it's kind of like more throne-esque seat at the other end of the table where he's sitting, and he sits down. He stands at the nearest throne. I'm afraid that might pick up on the mic, the fan.
I'm trying
Was
to
it picking
find
up?
this.
Did you hear it?
Not in a way that's terrible. It's noticeable, but not annoying.
And he claps his hand. You guys see the doors open, and these like tons of servants come pouring out, like one servant per each of you, and begins setting the table, putting down the drinks, pouring the drinks and everything. And he
Did you
sits down.
happen summon us to the room you're mentioning? Because I'm having a hard time finding it.
No, we're in theater of mind right now.
Oh,
There
okay,
isn't an
okay.
actual.
Sorry.
No, it's okay.
Do
We're
we
actually
look like
we're in
we
front of the
are?
wrong building? In fact, actually, it's actually down this way. Actually, we're supposed to.
Do we look
use
like we
Mr.
belong
Vision.
here? Like we blend in properly with our attire?
You feel a little underdressed, but
I use Mr. Vision and see if people look out of place.
In that sense, yes.
as you, who are you looking at?
So I am comparing the servants to each other, and also I am curious about how Lord Burnett looks. Burnett.
So as you look around, the servants, some of them like are kind of darker hues. Some of them are light. They seem kind of unremarkable. Generally, hues of pretty neutral colors. And as your gaze switches over to Barnett, you see this this odd like charcoal, almost like a roaring charcoal spirit. Like the color, it's like a dark gray, roaring kind of smoky flame deal that condenses more and darker the closer it gets to his chest. And as you look at the chest, you can almost see these two like red eyes in the smoke looking at you. Well, not looking at you, but like making like looking forward.
Okay.
And as he holds out his goblet, it pours full of wine, and he swirls it around, sniffs it, takes a nice drink. Wine for anyone?
Sorry, sir. No, I'm good. I'm used to my forest roots, and I pull out one of my water. What do they call water skins? And I just take a swig.
And he gives you kind of an odd look. Are you worried that something's been done to my drink? Because I assure you, I offer nothing but hospitality.
Emus is gonna try his best to give him the blankest, most innocent stare he can. Well, of course not, sir. You obviously drank from it.
Are you lying, though? Do you need to roll a deception check? Roll a deception check. Roll a deception check.
I'm not trying to lie. I'm just trying to play it off, you know? Yeah, alright, fine. God damn it, 5.
In real life, lies are really hard to detect.
1 second. I'm setting up. I'm kind of getting I think I can get this set up real quick.
but I'm sure this guy's really good at detecting them.
I'm gonna say oh, we don't have our hoods on. Crap.
I definitely don't have mine on. I got my elven cloak on.
You're not coming through, babe.
It's not like perfect, but this is, it is what it is. General gist of what's going on here. Should I move your characters? Or do you want to move them?
If you wouldn't mind, that'd be great.
Except our chairs are a few feet away from his, right? He's like taking up half a table by himself.
Yeah, kind of like how it looks a little bit, but there's a little bit more space. There's about double the space than what it looks like as is. All right, Calamity's the only one left. So as you sit there and lie to him, he cocks his head at you. Please, I'm sorry that you don't feel welcome. Is there anything I can do to change your spirit? Should we have a jester or music? And he claps, and a jester comes out and starts dancing, and a bard comes out and begins kind of strumming along with a lute, giving the air kind of a party-esque vibe. Though it's
I
still
love
pretty
music,
cold, and
thank
you can
you.
tell that the servants and stuff like don't really want to be there, and they're not like super fond of the place.
We're just used to a more tavern setting. It's a little out of our comfort zone.
Well, maybe we can start by breaking the ice and getting to know each other a little better. Let's start with you. And he points to Emus. Where do you hail from? Where are you from? What's your story?
Oh, same as everyone else, I suppose. Humble upbringings out in the forest, you know. My parents are mushroom farmers, you see.
And is that the most remarkable thing about you? That your parents were mushroom farmers?
I'm gonna kind of furrow my brow a little bit and say, well, depends what you find remarkable. I can find the hard work of a man down in the mines remarkable, but the greatest statue that he is built by the stone that he cuts not remarkable.
He smiles and nods. Do you know what I find remarkable? Do you know who Elminster is, the founder of this town? And is like when he says stuff like founder, like his eyebrows raise.
Yes?
You do. You're aware of him and his history and his connections. He says, kind of tilting his head around Emus, looking at Boogie.
Well, I mean, are we supposed to know of his connections?
And he
I don't
eyes
know
you
about
for
a
a
lot
good
of
long
connections,
second.
but
And he turns and looks at Boogie. The deception persists. Please, you tell me your story. And he points at Boogie.
so you know that we are the chosen of Mr. Right.
And his eyes kind of like widen. I did have the feeling.
You gotta remember, he invited us here under that guise. So it's...
Would you care to explain more what that means? Of your adventures, the places that title, that burden has taken you?
Actually, we're still trying to find the answer to that ourselves. Maybe if you are so knowledgeable about such things, you could help us understand what that means. And
He
this time,
smiles.
I'm not being decisive. Like Emus is being completely honest.
He smiles and says, and that is why I hope we can build a relationship. I would like to inform you of things I think you may be unaware. Yet, you just trust me so as not to even partake in the food I give you. And he looks around the table. No one haven't eaten anything yet.
Well, I haven't sat down yet.
So please, may we sit and begin our meal, and after we fill our bellies and go around the table discussing who we are, we can talk more
I
after.
want to keep a keen eye on if he's being served the same food out of the same tray that we are. And I want to be keen about eating only the things that I see him eating off of his
So
plate.
you're not seeing the food be put on the plate. You're only seeing like it's being brought out from the kitchen area. To the
Already
table.
plated.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's try this then. Emus's feigned innocent demeanor is going to drop. Well, certainly you have to understand it from our point of view, right? The whole position that we're in, having come from a town that you used to be in charge of, and after having it sort of claimed by us, and hearing about your pedigree, wouldn't you also be cautious?
Okay. Just as a side note, DM, I have the boon of Shantae, which makes me immune to all diseases and resistant to poison and being poisoned. So I am going to confidently begin to eat.
Nice.
So, I had wanted to drag my chair to right here.
Okay.
Love it.
And like all the servants stop and stare in almost like horror as you drag this
And
chair.
then I'll walk back and grab my bowl and walk it back. I prefer elbow room.
just like Lord Tyrion did in Game of Thrones. Heck yeah.
You see this like passive aggressive smile come across Lord Barnett's lips, and his tongue like trails along his teeth and retreats back into his mouth. Well then, as long as you're comfortable.
Thank you.
Shall we sit and eat, please? I'm ravished.
For knowledge or for food?
Both. But one becomes before the other, yes? And he takes a big bite of the food. Is everyone digging in?
No, I am not.
Zoid's digging in.
Yeah, I'll go ahead and eat.
Boogie's digging in. Calamity?
I'm not going to go overboard with it, but yeah, I'm gonna eat.
You hear as Lady Evelina like picks up the spoon to eat. She leans in and blows on it gently and closes her eyes and says a very quick prayer and puts it into her mouth.
Mm-hmm.
Can I just look at Lord Barnett and do like an investigation check to see if he has like a suspicious face or if he's being kind of earnest right now?
Sure, roll investigation check.
19. I'm sorry. It's a lot more than that. I was just adding the modifier. Investigation is 17 plus 7
24.
plus
1 second.
24, yes.
One second.
What?
Just the way it's worded, I can't really tell whether to use. I think investigation is the right skill to use, whether someone's lying or not. But it's so difficult the way they word it between perception and investigation.
Either way, they're both plus 7 for me.
Friggin'
Okay.
Insight. Insight is how you fight against deception.
There is something about him that's just unsettling. He has a lot of unlikable characteristics though, so it does seem like he's being dishonest, but how uncommon is that of a noble?
Yeah. Okay. So what kind of meal is this? Is it soup, or is that just the placeholder?
It's just a placeholder. It's like this very like well put together, well balanced meal, like exquisite meat. Like he went all out. Like it's not cheap food he's putting before you. And he looks around, Sir Emus, as he swallows. I don't know that we'll ever gain trust in one another if you're unwilling to drink my food or eat my food. And he takes a swig. And you look around, and everyone that is eating so far, food tastes great. Food's awesome. Very well put together.
I'm on the spot. I don't know what to do.
I hope that Shantae's blessing, if he has poison dust, works out for us.
He's
Well,
definitely
Shantae's blessing
poisonous.
is just for Bezoit, not all of us.
No, it's for all of us.
I thought everybody got it.
Uh,
Yeah.
Wait.
Yeah,
Boon of Shantae, immune to disease and resistant to being poisoned. It's on my character sheet.
Okay.
yeah.
It was like
Oh,
her
that's
last
right.
thing for thanking.
You're right,
us.
back in the grove. Yeah. I forgot all
Yep.
about that. Okay, thank you. Uh, is there any bread?
Yes.
I'm just gonna grab a hunk of bread and start nibbling at that.
I hope
Do it again.
that we're not offending you, Lord Barnett. We understand that you are a leader of the secularists. So,
He turns and raises an eyebrow over at Lady Evelina. Oh, you do, huh? And she kind of continues to eat
You
her
weren't-
food.
you weren't elected as a secularist? I thought that was your whole platform.
Of course I'm elected.
What?
Are you challenging the validity of my election?
No! I thought that was your platform. I'm sorry, I must have misspoke completely.
It's fine. I just wish everyone would relax and please, if you wouldn't mind. The meat cost me a pretty penny. It's very expensive and took a long time to cook. I hope you'll bless your taste buds with at least trying it.
For anybody noticing, my plate is almost clean at this point.
And there's nothing has happened to Bezoit. Bezoit's finishing her plate. Nothing happening.
Oh, what about that awful escape of the monsters from the arena today? I'm glad that we were able to provide assistance in mopping that up.
Yes, that was very nice of you. And he takes a bite of food. I've dispatched a unit to Gallic Half Pint to see what caused the Baffitar to be released. I'm waiting on their word.
Oh, okay, well, good. I hope whatever it is solved so it never happens again. A lot of innocent people out there are no longer able to share a meal tonight.
Bezoit begins looking around for dessert.
Are you still hungry, Dragonborn? He says, looking at you with like interest in his eyes. Like odd interest though. Almost like he's looking at you like inside, like picturing you inside a glass, like a large glass jar thing, like a specimen. Yeah, like a trophy. And he waves his hand. You see these people bring out what would be closestly described as like a couple different things. They got like a what was that lemon meringue kind of deal? They bring out that
Yeah,
with some
lemon meringue pie.
yeah, they bring out that with some other like citrusy pies, some cheesecakes, a lot of like cakey desserts, stuff like that. Very high sugar stuff.
I motion towards the cheesecake.
Same.
And it's brought to you, and as he sets it down, Lord Barnett and the server exchange a look, and the server nods slightly, and they head back to the kitchen. What are your plans while you're here in Shadowdale? Do you plan to stay long? He asked the group.
No, we were just coming by for some supplies. We're looking for some rather more unique items you can only find in the bigger cities. You see, we had a rather unfortunate ship wreck. Our ship unfortunately got wrecked, and we are trying to put it back together, if you will.
You're shipwrecked near here? He says, looking around.
Well, not here, but this just happened to be the largest city of commerce in the area that we thought might carry the things we need.
He nods. Are you guys well connected in the information of the world? Things going on as of late?
Emus is going to perk up at that. No, actually.
At that, I glance over at him, and now he has my attention.
He looks down, kind of obscuring his mouth a little. Unfortunately, a few days ago, we lost, not we, but the Alliance lost 400,000 men to a horde of dragons.
I'm
Oh,
going to kind of cough a little bit.
Was
Sorry, a
one
horde?
of them an ancient dragon?
I only heard preliminary reports, but one of the dragons was reported to be quite large. Sorry, guard. I didn't pull away for a second. And he looks around. I take it this is the first time anyone's heard of it?
yes.
First time that we are hearing of this, yes.
It was the reinforcements sent from Took a year to gather that many men.
Well, I
And
mean,
in the end,
surely
that
this is
wiped out.
highly unusual. The dragons don't typically team up.
And he begins clapping for you and then realizes that he's being condescending and puts his hands down. Sorry, yes. That is an astute observation. They normally do not team up. Servers, he yells. And hearing the tone of his voice, they immediately know what he wants, heading to the kitchen, bringing back more wine and filling up his goblet. And he kind of drinks it down, washing away his worries.
Are you concerned about this dragon horde? Is there any news of where it went? What happened to it after the attack? Did they disperse? Did they fly off together?
Through like the goblet in front of his mouth, he says, "All I know, it was utter annihilation." And he takes another drink.
Can I tell if he's lying?
You want to make an investigation check?
I don't like the way he keeps hiding his mouth. $14.
Out of the corner, it's hard to tell, and it might be because you don't like the guy, but it almost looks like his lip is curling up at the corner in a smile when he says utter annihilation.
Mm. So I get like the feeling that it perhaps was ordered.
I think the feeling you would get from that would probably be like some sadistic joy.
He's
at least.
excited about the idea of it. That he is taking some sort of pleasure at the phrase utter annihilation.
At this, all of this information, I'm going to ask, was it your men?
He looks over at you. My men, that's what?
That were annihilated?
No. He says with like a smirk.
Well,
And I just nod my head.
certainly something like that is cause for greater concern amongst many of the larger nations. Has there been any talk about what is to be done, if anything?
And he puts the chalice again in front of his mouth and takes a swig. Chug, 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 drinking it all and putting it down. takes a deep breath, and you see his face kind of neutral out, like he's trying to keep all emotion out of his face. And he says, Am was the hope.
Ah, so no plan B on the table.
I feel that Am was plan C, perhaps.
Right. Well, that's just awful news. Hopefully,
Yes, I agree. Let's eat away our worries, please. Stop just nursing the bread, son. Eat something more nutritious. That meat cost me 10 years' salary for you. Eat up.
I'm gonna kind of look down at my food, mostly untouched, other stuff the bread, and everyone else eating dessert. Uh, well, forgive me, sir. This might be strange to your lands, but see, I'm more of a one with nature. I prefer not to, you know, eat anything that breathes.
Ah, I see. You're one of the bleeding hearts, then.
Uh, I'm not really sure what that means, but if that means that they don't typically
You
eat
know,
other creatures,
like those wood elf folks, those crazy ones that refuse to eat any small little critter crawler of the wood. He says mockingly.
Emus is gonna kind of draw the corners of his mouth at that tight. Yes, if you would.
Very well. Could I offer you some nourishing manna instead?
How about just I'm gonna kind of look around, almost kind of frantically. A piece of that cheesecake would do nicely, I think.
Well, Xavius? And he snaps his fingers, and the larger servant comes out with another plate of cheesecake. Yes, master. Setting it down in front of you.
I'm going to I'm gonna do something really stupid. I'm gonna reach into my pocket and pull out a gold piece and kind of offer it to him like a tip.
And he stops and looks at you and looks at the money and then turns and looks at Lord Barnett. And Lord Barnett takes a deep breath in and nods. And the servant takes the coin and stuffs it away in his tunic and bows real low. Thank you, young master.
Oh, I'm no master.
And then he reaches back out and like holds out his hand, but I can't take it. And he kind of like holds out his like a closed fist for you to take your coin back.
And I gave him a really quizzical, kind of surprised look. Oh, well, all right. I'm sorry if I had
And
offended you.
as he puts it in with a bow, kind of placing himself slightly between himself, you, and Lord Barnett, you feel not coin back in your pocket, but a piece of paper. And he turns, "Thank you, Lord," and walks back to the kitchen.
I'm gonna kind of just shove it back in my pocket. Oh, it's a shame about that. I was just trying to be nice to the lad.
Oh, well, you know, slaves. I can't help it but grovel.
Ah,
Oh, he's a slave, not just a servant?
Those words mean very similar things to me. You're going to have to explain the difference.
One willingly works here for you, the other is owned by you.
Yes, the second.
Oh,
but is it by his will or your will? I'm gonna mutter to myself.
And he smiles at you and closes his eyes. His will if he wants to live.
hmm.
And he opens his eyes, kind of gauging the room. Is slavery not custom where you're from?
It's not
Just kind of
unheard
Just
of.
smirk.
because it's custom doesn't mean you have to enjoy it.
And he looks at the table and like cocks his eyebrows confused, but it's so enjoyable.
Well, I think we should get on to talking. I've lost my appetite.
Perhaps the position at the table is a matter of effect on your stomach?
Oh no, it's just nothing.
Very well. I see that I've somehow offended my guests. If you would like to leave, I understand. I don't want you to be held here against your will. You are not a servant of mine. You are the chosen, no?
When I cock my head at him, do you often host foreign dignitaries in these fine halls of yours?
Not unless they're very wealthy. No, I don't.
But you have.
I have.
And I'm sure
I-
there are some dignitaries you've hosted in these halls at some point in your hopefully long and fortuitous career that have had strange traditions, or maybe not have understood your own traditions.
Yes, well, you do know the saying. When in Neverwinter, do as Neverwinter does.
I'm gonna purse my lips at that.
Are you wanting to call it an evening, or shall we continue with more drinks and wine?
Apparently, you had a plethora of questions you were waiting, just dying to ask us.
Yes, but you
Surely you're.
seem closed off, and I'm not interested in speaking to walls, so if some alcohol might loosen your lips. And he waves at the kitchen, and servants come out with some alcohol.
You know, it would loosen my lips, actually. A custom of what of that I am used to. A good old after meals game. The game is very simple. You get to ask a question, we answer it. Then we ask a question and you answer it. And it's back and forth.
Ooh, I love games. Do I get to go first?
I'll look
I
around at everyone at the
insist, he
table.
says as his goblet fills. Ah, servants, please, yes. Privacy. And the servants go, and you see the doors around the room. Locks getting slid. The doors shutting up, getting locked. Some
From,
privacy for our questions.
locked from the other side or from our side?
From our side, like your side, but it would take a while to unlock it to get out.
Okay.
Like it's those big kind of slide across. You know what I'm talking about? Like those big pieces of lumber type deal. And there's 3 of those along each door. And he takes a drink of wine. Shall we start? He says, looking out at everyone.
I'm gonna look down at my uneaten cheesecake and look back up around at my companions.
Yes.
And he turns pointedly, staring at Calamity at the end of the table.
Yeah. I just
Turns
didn't want to
Sipazoid.
eat.
So is Calamity the only person that hasn't eaten anything?
No, I ate some. I didn't start eating the dessert.
Ooh.
I nibbled some bread and that was it.
Everybody ate his food. And now he wants to send us away. But these questions would be fun for him.
So he spins the liquid in his chalice. What is your relationship with Montreal Silvano? He says, taking a deep swig of the glass.
Enemies.
He looks down at the table, gauging her answer with the rest of your reactions, whether or not you guys agree with that.
Emus does his best to stay neutral.
And you down there, disguised goblin?
Oh, you saw through it. Just a second, I'm getting a phone call. I wish that I could just cancel it, but it's not an option.
When he says goblin, Lady Evelina kind of chokes on her spit a little bit. And he looks, dear, you thought they could keep something hidden from me?
I mean, it wasn't
Insolent.
hidden. It was just people don't like goblins, so we just protect them from what they're not comfortable with.
Ah, yes, social norms and customs. That has been quite the topic today, hasn't it?
Yes.
It has. If only we could all be our true selves, he says, staring at the liquid around his goblet.
I have a feeling at least a few of us are being our true selves.
And he looks down at the red liquid. And your question for me?
What is your interest in us?
He turns and looks at you. Oh, a very difficult question, huh? What isn't my interest in you?
Ah, but that is a question and not an answer.
Perhaps. It is your lineage. It is your ties to ancient prophecies that interests me. It is the power innate in your being.
Do you have those ancient prophecies, or could you recite them to us?
He looks at you and like turns and laughs. It almost sounds like this like laugh that's deeper than his chest is capable of producing. And no, I do not have access to the ancient prophecies. Do you?
Not that I'm aware.
Well then, next question. How close are you to resurrecting Mistra?
We don't even know where to start.
Well, seeing how there isn't 7 of us, it's not going great.
Oh, I know. It's horrible, isn't it? He says with like a slight smirk, drinking from his goblin.
Could I
Goblin.
Mistra vision him?
Sure. And you see the same thing Boogie saw earlier with that roaring charcoal coming down into like this dark mass in the center of his chest with these 2 eyes, like glowing red eyes.
Okay.
So, not well, huh? You know, there's a lot of power in unconventional means. Looking at his chalice.
Is he drinking blood?
He looks across the table at Calamity and says, I can smell it on you. You're aware of the power I'm talking about.
A
You have-
fraction of it, yes.
Do you have connections with the Chosen of Shantae?
No, the Chosen of Shar.
Sorry, thank you. Sorry.
He turns and raises an eyebrow. Does the power they possess entice you?
Disgusts me, to be honest.
Does it? Yet you drink from the same chalice in which they draw their power. Servant of the Shadowfell, he says, like very sternly, like looking right into your pupils.
Yes. That was a tough decision.
At least yours was a decision.
How does one not decide?
He stands up, kind of frustrated, and turns around, starts kind of pacing. There's nothing about the power of the Shadowfell, of the Shadow Weave of Shar, that draws you toward it. Nothing of promise. You still hang with this dead god, with the hope and promise that she'll be resurrected. She's died. This is what, the 4th time?
So as long as we're dropping the game, I want to understand then, what is your interest in us? If you're worried about some dead god that has been gone for a long time and we have lesser and lesser odds of bringing back, what is your concern with us?
Because the prophecies say that we may succeed and ruin his followed plans.
He looks down, drags his coat closer to himself. Given the answer you've just given me, my concern with you is no longer anything. You're free to leave my estate. And he just begins walking off, and the servants come and open the doors. And they stand there kind of waiting in silence.
What is Lady Evelina's face looking like at this point?
Concerned, ready to leave, looking around, expecting guards.
I reach into my pocket and I pull out 10 gold and leave it on the table as I get up and exit the building.
Amos, you're still not gonna read that freaking note that might
I would like to
have the
see that
details of your
note.
life?
Not until he. I don't want to do it until he's out of sight. That's my
Who?
concern.
I thought he
Lord-
went around the corner.
Lord Barnett, you don't see him anymore.
He went
Oh.
like.
Well, okay, then I would like to try to sleight of hand it out of my pocket and like unfold it in one hand and kind of glance down and read it.
Okay, make a sleight of hand check.
Ooh, starting off good. 16 plus 4, 20.
You slide it pretty depthly out of your pocket. And looking down, it says, "Don't eat. The food is poisoned."
Well, I mean, yeah.
Who gave you that note?
One of the servants. Slaves,
Oh.
I'm sorry. Yes, well, I'm going to kind of glance around after reading it. I do think it's best we over on our way. I don't want to overstay our welcome.
So did you tell us that it said that, or are we
Nope,
just
I
still...
am not saying that out loud yet. I am just suddenly very eager to leave.
Man, I would like. Amos,
Oh.
what'd the note say?
You got it,
Because,
boss.
like, I want to take the spoon and gag it down my throat and throw up in the bowl.
Well, I was gonna say I was gonna grab the hunk of bread I nibbled on a few times and shove it in my pocket. But I don't want to say it here yet. Are you asking me out loud what the note said?
Yeah, I did.
I'm gonna glance sharply towards Clemency. That heavily suggests that we leave as quickly as possible. Lady Evelina, if you could please stay close. Amos is something like all business and walking
As you
off.
walk towards the door, one of the servants standing there, the tall one, heavy asker, the one that gave you the note, leans in, and he has something in his hands. "You need to lower it. Hurry, please. I'm putting myself at grave risk, but you put yourself. I cannot explain. Just please. I was only able to take this much." And he hands you a little vial, one small vial of this kind of light blue, see-through liquid.
I'm gonna nod to him and kind of grab his shoulder or his elbow firmly and squeeze it for a second and let go and continue walking off. Come, we must leave.
And he looks kind of worried around, looking at the other servant, kind of with a look of like, "Please don't rat me out, dude," to the other guy.
Noticing that kind of interaction, I'm just gonna kind of duck here and bulimic myself behind these bushes.
Okay, so as you
Jesus
shove your
Christ.
finger down your throat, make a Constitution saving throw.
As I see Cal begin to throw up, I go and stick my talon down my throat.
22.
So you don't, your stomach's too strong. You just, but no puke comes.
She had a 22 and no puke.
Well, no,
Yeah.
that's
The
a
Constitution saved me from puking.
yeah. You want a low roll for that. That's where you want a low roll to fail it.
Yeah.
10.
Yeah.
Although you could have intentionally failed it if you wanted.
Zoe starts vomiting into the bushes. The servant comes around in the corner. "You need to leave. It does not work like that. Go."
Well, what the heck? So I make a beeline to the shop where the guy wanted to sell me some less than savory things, and
Well, hang on. Let's get to the front gate and regroup. Let's
That's how
do
we
that
get out.
first.
but we're all immune to poison
No, you're
or
resistant.
resistant.
Resistant. Yeah. We're stuck in the courtyard, Mike. We can't really
Yeah,
leave.
1 second.
Oh, I
As
think
you
we
guys,
were in this other compound next door.
no, I had you in the front of the wrong one at first.
Okay.
As you guys leave, it is dark. The guards don't seem to be putting any effort into stopping you. They are treating it as if you are just regular guests leaving.
So I would like to make a beehive line tour, not bee line, a straight line to
Well,
that shop.
Instead of going straight to that shop, why don't we ask Lady Evelina if she knows what the best place to go, because she does live here.
Or if she has any cleansing stuff, like magic wise.
The
But
shops
also,
will be
as we're
closed at
passing
this
the
hour.
guard, I would
That's
change my outfit.
that's why I want to regroup at the front. Let's take 30 seconds to talk some things through, and then we can figure out what we're doing.
I think we need to hurry up and take that blue stuff.
Bio. Yeah, that's another thing that I wanted to talk about.
At least maybe Lady Avelina, and then she can save us.
Yep, exactly what I was thinking. Yep. So I'm going to, now that we're all grouped up, I'm going to say, okay, we've definitely been poisoned if you've eaten the food. I'm going to hold the vial out in the palm of my hand, just long enough for everyone to see. This is supposedly an antidote that one of the servants was kind enough to give me. Bless his heart. I don't know if there's enough for all of us, and I don't know what the dosage is. Lady Evelina, do you know someone in town that would be able to identify this readily and pull out? I'm going to kind of half pull out of my pocket the piece of bread. I have a sample of the poison itself too.
I don't think we have time to go to town.
She shakes her head. All the shops are closed at this hour. I can perhaps see if my contact at the Harper could see, but it would take too long by then. And she looks back at the manor. I also worry for the servant. If Lord Barnett finds out, that man will lose his life.
I'm going to look around. Does anyone else have any idea of where we might go? If anyone that might be able to help? Bazoid, when you were shopping earlier today, did you come across anyone?
I did. Where I got my robes, he said that he had some black market items,
I'm going to offer them.
potions.
I'm going to take out the vial and kind of examine it a little bit more closely. Can I, does it look like multiple doses worth? Does it have any markings on it, like for marking things out?
It doesn't have any markings on it, but with how small the vial is, it's probably a single dose.
Okay, I'm going to clutch it tightly. I'm going to nod. Bazoid, lead the way. We must go at once.
Should we go back to the Temple of Saloon? It's nearby. It's next to the old Temple of Mistra in repair.
Yeah. Maybe send word to Tammy.
Send word to Tammy. Use your hoods.
We don't have them. We're all dressed up
Tammy
for this.
doesn't have a hood like that she actually wears. She's, I believe, researching a
We
hood.
need to have someone stand in the corner about this robe situation. No one wears their fucking hoods. There's no communication in this family.
Agatha's.
We're about to have force sending message tattoos.
So there's a chance Agatha might have hers, and we're outside of the party now. You can pull your cloak out of your bag and put it back on.
So I take my cloak off. I put my dress cloak off. I put my hooded cloak on, and I say into the hood, Tammy, Agatha, anybody, can you hear me?
Hey! How'd the dinner go?
Horrible. We've been poisoned. We've got one vial of antidote. We need to know if Tammy can duplicate it, or if you guys know anybody in this town that can give us a potion to counteract this.
And all you hear on the other end is, oh shit. And then it's a long silence.
And then I'm gonna say,
like 30
meet us
seconds
at
of silence, and then you hear Tammy's voice come back. Yeah. Can you make it to the tavern? Like, can you make it to the inn? Where should I meet you?
And I'm gonna tell her to meet us at that. I can't remember the name of the tavern you just said.
Oh, I thought we were going to Saloon's Temple.
Yeah, or
Yeah.
wait, why not go back to that guy's shop with the?
'Cause
Yeah, I
all the
thought that's where
shops
we're
are
going.
closed. All the shops are closed.
Doesn't mean you can't go banging on some doors.
Right.
So the Temple of Saloon is over here, is where she's pointing. Right here.
Okay.
So it's closer than where the shop would be.
And then the old Temple of Mistra is right here.
The only reason I'm more thinking the shop is because how snarky that guy was about hearing any more than that kind of thing. So he might have more of it. We don't have to worry about duplicating it if we can get there. if we go to that temple, the old temple ruins, to meet them there, we run the risk of what if Tammy can't?
Well, the Temple Saloon is not ruins. The Temple of Mistra is being constructed into something else.
Right. Okay. So there's still like priests and priestesses
But
there.
there
that
is
could-
an active Temple of Saloon, yes.
Active is a stretch, but yeah, there are people there.
More active than Mistra's,
Yeah, for sure.
I guess.
Yeah, I'm sold on both options. You pick, or everyone else pick. Boogie, Bezoit, you have any opinions?
We should go.
I don't know. I thought we were going to beat on some doors.
Okay, that's 2 for the shop. You just said we should go. We should go where? There's 2 different options.
I don't need to vote. The shop will work. Just
Shop it
let's
is.
go ahead and do it.
All right, Bezoit, lead the way. And Boogie, you both are there.
So I say into the hood that we're going to the shop, and I give brief directions as I head there.
Okay, I will pull everyone over there. As you guys make your way over to the shops, you find it closed up. Everything's shut down.
And I begin
the forge is
to
off.
knock on the doors.
Are there any lights on upstairs? Are there any lights downstairs?
1 second, let me pull everyone over, and then I will tell you.
It has a windmill. I am observant.
So I'm not able to roll yet, but I want to put out there that I would like to start feeling internally if I notice like a rumbly tumbly, if I'm getting like cold sweats, any changes.
You don't feel really any different right now. Honestly, the food tasted pretty good. Like, you're feeling pretty good right now. Everything feels fine.
I
as you get here-
wonder.
What do you wonder?
I'm going to look at the group, and I'm going to say, I wonder if that vial isn't actually poison,
It did cross
because
my
I feel
mind.
fine.
I trust the vial.
I say before anybody takes it that we let Tammy analyze it.
Yes, I agree. That's why I have not given it to anyone yet.
So as you guys get to Valka's Delver Exchange, Tammy and Agatha come running around the corner, panting. Hey. And they're
Hey.
looking, kind of expecting like people to be throwing up and dying and stuff, and everyone's looking good. And she kind of looks, what's up? I thought something was wrong.
We don't know if there is or anything exactly explicitly wrong yet, but there's a very good chance that there is. Now, I'm going to hand this vial that I got over to Tammy. This was handed to me by one of the servants who also passed me a note saying that we were poisoned. Can you verify what that is? And also, I'm going to produce the piece of bread. This is supposedly might contain what poisoned us.
She looks down at the vial. Yeah, I think so, but I don't have. There's something I need. Maybe if the shop was open, I could get it, but I don't have the materials to test this. She seems kind of frustrated.
I'm going to look
I look
over
towards the group, and I'm going to say, should we break in?
B&E. B&E, anyone? I'm going to look over at Agatha or at Lady Lady
Evelina?
Evelina, thank you so much. Do you know, does this shopkeeper live above his store?
I bang on this door.
Doof, 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 doof. And you hear like a very soft thud of feet hit the ground and a waddle. Doof, doof, doof. Sorry, this might be the wrong one. Let me look real quick. And coming around the corner, you see Valkis rubbing his eyes. What?
Oh, dear sir, we are in need of your service.
Well, we're closed. And he shuts the door.
I apologize for the late. We'll make it up to you, I promise you. We'll make it worth your while.
The door creaks open a little. How worth my while?
We are willing to reward you greatly for your services tonight.
A bit more.
Yes, I hear your abstract words, but give me finite numbers. How much?
What will it take for
100
your help?
gold.
He narrows his eyes. I don't get out of bed for less than 300 gold.
You're gonna get out of bed for 250 though, because that's what we got.
Roll a deception check. Or persuasion, I'll leave it up to you.
I rolled a 17. My perception. Oh, it's gonna be perception. Oh wait, no.
No. Persuasion or
persuasion.
deception.
Deception. Oh, they're both +2, so they're both 19.
He narrows his eyes. Fine. Come on. What do you need? And what's wrong with you? You all look fine.
Well, that's what we're about to find out. If there is anything wrong with this, I might have just given you that gold for just waking up. And I'm gonna walk in. I'm gonna slam down the 250 gold on the countertop. Here.
He takes it and immediately spreads it out and starts counting it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
We don't have time for that right now. We need to know, do you have anything to test whether or not a piece of food is poisoned?
Well, Tammy said she needed something specific.
Tammy runs in, switching over to Gnomish and begins kind of barking things at this guy. And he looks surprised for a second. She's like, I need this. There's like jamming off a bunch of stuff, and his eyes get wide. And he gets a little excited, and he nods, and he starts grabbing some of the powders and a couple vials for her. He slides them across the table. That'd be 50 gold.
I'm just gonna slam another 50 gold on the counter.
And he smiles. He says, I told you I didn't get out of bed for less than 300 gold.
I'm gonna come and just give him a kind of like whatever, roll my eyes at him.
And Tammy, like, is already right there on the spot. She's beginning to sprinkle some of this powder inside the vial and shake it up. And she looks at it and nods. It's not a poison, that's for sure.
What is it?
I gotta run a bunch more tests for that. I just know it's not a poison.
Can you test this vial of liquid that he gave us?
That's what she just tested. It's not a poison.
So the bread.
How about
No,
the bread?
no. The bread was the I said the bread was the poison. The vial was the antidote.
Right. You guys wanted to test the antidote to see what it was. The first.
No, I wanted to test the bread. No.
What she did was good.
We wanted to test the bread to see if it was possibly poisoned.
Yes.
And then, if it wasn't, then we were going to test the vial.
She nods, starts barking more gnomish stuff at him, and he opens up and he starts looking around. I guess. And he runs around the counter, and there's this kind of carnivorous plant with this open mouth, and he puts it down on the table, and it's like sitting there in this pot. And she takes a piece of the bread and sets it inside, and it clumps down on it, and it holds its tight jaw grasp around it. If it is a poison, it's a slow-acting one, and they're sitting there watching it. But these creatures are quite sensitive. And he runs his finger along the stalk of the plant, and you watch as it begins wilting very rapidly, all of a sudden curling into each other. And at that moment, your guys' chest feels a little odd, and it almost feels like there's this weakness in your clavicles and this weight building inside your chest. I need everyone that ate anything to make a Constitution saving throw at advantage.
Even if I just nibbled some bread, like not. Oh my god. Okay.
16.
24.
Ooh.
You said a Constitution at what?
Advantage.
Okay.
Because of Shantae's blessing, you guys have advantage on the throw.
Right.
18.
20.
12.
You guys watch as who was 18?
Bazoit.
You guys watch as Bazoit and Emus begin coughing and drop to their knees. The DC was 20.
Wait, what did
18
Andrew
fails.
roll?
He rolled a 24.
24.
What about Lady Evelina? Where is she? Did she not follow us?
Lady Evelina is currently not coughing. She is with you guys. Yeah, she's with you guys.
Nice.
So I'm gonna say, quick, Tammy, the antidote. I think we only
As
have one
Bezoit goes to
vial.
open her mouth to talk, it's literally and like blood starts.
So I'm gonna point to the vial of the antidote.
And Tammy turns and looks between Emus and Bezoit. Who do I give it to?
Does anybody have protection from poison?
I'm resistant to poison.
It's a
Wait, no,
spell.
I'm immune to poison. It says
So
on my
then give me the vial, nigga.
yeah, on my character sheet it says I'm immune to poison.
How are you immune to poison now?
I don't know. I have a star on it. It came from something.
Came from something.
Yeah, like something that happened in game, and I don't remember.
So you have resistance to poison and immunity to disease.
That's what it was. Okay, never mind.
Darn.
Yep, darn. I'm gonna go ahead and try to cast Lesser Restoration on myself just to see if it does anything.
Damn. So it's verbal and somatic. As you touch yourself and get ready to utter the words of Lesser Restoration, the cough and blood, you almost look like your face is beginning to look like Joffrey's from Game of Thrones when like that poison is going up and like your eyes are beginning to get purple around and bulging out and stuff.
Okay, I have lesser restoration. Can I touch Emus?
You can't
It says
speak right
I
now.
touch. Listen, but it says I touch.
Right, but it
One
needs
touch
a
ends the
verbal.
disease or condition.
It's verbal and somatic, which means you have to be able to talk to cast it. Tammy's looking around in a panic. Who do I give this to?
I'm gonna wave my hand towards Bezoit.
And Tammy looks back at Bezoit, and her eyes dart back and forth for a second. And she runs over and gives Emus the cure, dumping it down his throat.
What?
I'm gonna look to Lady Avelina and ask her if she has protection from poison as a spell.
Well, can't Emus now cast lesser restoration on me?
If it works, then I
You
can
can try.
speak. And
Lady
if Lesser
Evelina quickly,
Restoration
she
works.
looks ashamed and says, "I've completed my magic. We had quite a few wounded at the temple. I'm so sorry."
No, don't be sorry.
You're in the same boat as us.
Bezoit, you're going to take 20 poison damage. Lady Evelina yells out, "Emus, please!"
What's happening to me? I got the antidote.
So yeah, as it chugs back, like you hear her calling out to you. You still feel like it's taken a while, but you feel like you're beginning to breathe a little bit better. Though you can't see your face, but you can see your hands. Like the purpley necrotic vein looking effect is slowly beginning to recess itself.
All right, I'm gonna try to like kind of flail around a bit and grab onto what I hope is Bezoit, from what I can see.
Tammy kind of like walks you over there. Bezoit looking really rough. You see this like blood dripping out of her mouth and stuff. Just standing there right in front of you.
And I cast Lesser Restoration.
And as you do, Bezoit, you feel this feeling of intense relief as this fire inside your chest settles for a moment. And Valkis kind of peeks up over the counter. Is everyone alive?
So far, so good. I don't know if that's gonna stay like that though.
As
All
I
right,
begin
well.
to be able to breathe a little bit better, I look over at Emus and say, thanks, buddy.
Damn it. It might not be over yet. We need to figure out what the stuff is.
And Valkis turns and looks. Well, shoot. Get off my property then, if that's all. He shuts his door and kind of grumpily stumbles upstairs. You hear the door slam. Like, not really concerned at all anymore about your guys' well-being. Tammy looks around.
Okay, I want to cast protection from poison. It's a 1 hour for a creature I touch. If poison, it neutralizes it. So I'm going to cast that on Emus.
Are you sure? Emus just drank the
I drink
antidote.
the antidote. I'm the last person that needs it. Supposed antidote.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. I'm going to say to the group then, listen, everybody else passed their saving throw. Should I cast this on myself or should we wait to see? I'm just afraid I'm not going to be able to speak.
That's a good point. I was going to say wait until the whole can't speak part. That's a
Go
really
ahead
good
and-
point.
I suppose on yourself if you still have magic after that.
How many times can you cast it tonight?
It is a second level, so I have 3 second levels.
Okay. I say go and cast it on yourself, and Calamacy, and Lady Evelina.
Well, Calamacy passed her constitutional saving throw, right?
Yeah, I would
So
cast
she
it on
wasn't
your,
poisoned.
I would cast it on yourself and then hold off for now in case someone else develops symptoms down the road.
Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and cast protection from poison on myself
Who's that on the
and
wall
neutralize
looking
it.
at us? Is that an assassin?
Where are you seeing this at?
Right here, just fucking popped up.
As
Oh.
Calamousy looks up on the wall, you guys see this lady in a black gown with long black hair and pale white skin going, "You just don't die easy, do ya?"
As soon as I see the
Ah,
figure in here speak,
A Sharian bitch.
Emus is gonna still grasping for air and trying to recover. Is gonna grab his bow and get ready to draw it.
Do you launch it?
No.
She doesn't move an inch.
I use Mr. Vision on her.
As you do, you see no spirit inside.
Oh, like it's a projection.
She shrugs. Oh well, there's still time. And she falls back, and you hear no thud as she falls back on the other side of the fence. Agatha looks over at Tammy, and Tammy gets the chills. Can we get out of here, please?
Sure.
Emus is
Out
still
of
laying
this
back with
town
the
or
bow
out
draw.
of this area?
I guess the shopkeep has nothing extra for us, so
No, he went back. He slammed the door. He's back in his bedroom.
yeah. I said, sure. I guess the shopkeep has nothing extra for us. Like I wasn't asking him anything.
Are you guys making your way out?
Yeah.
Yeah. So Emus still laying on the ground, kind of almost prone with his bow drawn. It's like, I don't like this city.
Me neither. The goblins were way better.
Agatha smiles and nods. Yeah, Boogie, let's go back to your people. All right, you guys making your way back to the inn?
Yep.
All right.